So you see this diagram of the heart. This is something that you will need to be able to draw and then, write about, being able to know which areas of the heart the blood is flowing through at which time, what direction. So in this side, you see the blue side is the right side of the heart. So over here is right, over here is left. And this is the right atrium, and these are the vena cava. And you can see blood coming in from the body. This is from the body entering the right atrium and then moving through to the right ventricle. And this is the AV valve. And then if you look here, this is another valve called the semilunar. It's abbreviated SL, semilunar. And then the blood still, low oxygen levels goes to the lungs, the left lung and the right lung. And the blood will get oxygenated and then come from the lung here, the right and the left. Blood from the right and left lungs come back into the left atrium, LA. I'm sorry, the left atrium, and then the blood through that other AV valve to the left ventricle, then through the aorta, and then to the body as being oxygenated now. So it has a lot of oxygen, and it's going to go to all your cells. A little quiz for everybody. So the coronary arteries, just like any other cell, they need oxygen and O2 and nutrients. More specifically, energy in the form of glucose, but, fats can be used too. So blood is first collected in the aorta from the vena cava and then pumped to the ventricles. I'm sorry, then pumped to the lungs. See, I gotta slow down a little bit. I'm sorry. It is the lungs, the ventricles. Oh, I messed up on that totally. No, maybe. So sorry. In the atrium, the right atrium, okay? Then pump to the right ventricle. My apologies to those of you that were fast and wrote that down already. And then to the lungs. Then back to the heart, and then to the body. So it is kind of confusing. Obviously, you're seeing me struggling a little bit with it. And in order for that blood to go from the atria to the ventricles, the AV valves open and the semilunar valves close, or semilunar valves close. I'm just going to see yourself around my picture. When blood flows to the ventricles to the lungs, the AV valves close because you don't want them the blood going back to the atria, and then the semilunar valves open. Okay, so able to remember what was in there. So, special kind of muscle, and it can contract on its own. It's called myogenic, and that's right here. Skip ahead a little bit. So it's special. A region called the pacemaker controls the rhythm. Pacemaker, sinoatrial node, and it's on the right atrium. So right at the beginning, you see where the blood comes in. That's what that is. So we already talked about that. It's myogenic. It's indeed on its own. And the brain is connected to the pacemaker. So your brain can do a quick increase or decrease of the blood, and it can also respond to hormones in the blood like adrenaline. And we all get adrenaline in certain situations, and it'll make our blood, our heart rate go up. And I'll go back and see. I can't remember what should be. There's a blank there. So a little bit delayed. This SA node delayed at the AV node, just so the ventricles contract a little bit after the atria. If they contract at the same time, the blood isn't going to go anywhere. So atria first, top, and then bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. You have to be able to compare arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries, no valves. Okay, blood is high pressure. It's going to go one direction. It's not going to need a valve to adjust it, and can accommodate high pressure. High pressure. There's also muscle in the arteries, the smooth muscle around it, and we'll see that in a second. And capillary walls, thin, narrow diameter, lots of branching. Some of them are one cell, like one blood cell thick, and allow molecules to enter and to leave. Jackson, stop, Jackson, stop chewing. He has trouble. Hold on. Sorry, my dog. I haven't given him his medicine lately, and he's chewing his feet. I crazy. I give him a little rawhide. Anyway, allows plasma to leak out through those thin plasma. That's an M. Sorry. Plasma, so the fluid leaks out, but not blood cells. Blood cells stay in. You don't want those leaking out. And the veins, they're called pocket valves. Okay, kind of like little cups to keep that blood going the wrong direction because there's low pressure. And let's see, transport blood from capillaries, prevent backflow. I can't remember. I'll go in and put, I can't remember what that blank is. So we got a nice little diagram going here. This is a nice electron microscopic image. Scanning, I believe. And see this thick wall? It's a little bit narrower inside. That's an artery. And here's a bigger inside, real thin layer around it of tissue. That's a vein. And this is muscle in here. Not, I hate to say, there's no muscle there. Probably some veins have a little bit of muscle, but not much. But this is very muscular for the artery. So smooth muscle. Yeah, so there's, sorry, I have it in the diagram. But this still looks pretty thick, but there's less. Connective tissue, artery, label that. And a smaller artery is called an arteriole. And we got all the capillaries here, very thin, one cell layer thick, oxygen out, CO2 back in, glucose out, and then everything good's out of the blood. It needs to go back and get more good stuff, so it's going to go in what's called a venule, where then empties into full-fledged vein. And here you can see the pocket valve. We'll say valve. And low oxygen. Over here we can see high oxygen. And gray, this is a cool image. You can just see the difference. You'll notice the veins are often, you kind of think, oh, it's a big circle, but look how collapsed it is. And that's because it has a much thinner layer of tissue surrounding it. So it gets kind of smashed around by the muscles, whereas the artery is really keeps its structure. The vein. So blood made of plasma. That's the biggest constituent, 55%. Erythrocytes, so red blood cells. Where's that at? Yeah, right there. And then leukocytes, right here. White blood cells, aka, and platelets. Really amazing how your blood is fluid, but if there's a cut, it'll clump up. There's a chemical reaction that can detect there's a break in the system, and then it clots. Pretty far out. Pretty cool. Oxygen is transported. Carbon dioxide, hormones, Antibodies. This one is urea. And heat. You don't think about it too much, but your blood is basically a way your body can move heat around your body. Either get rid of heat by putting blood near your surface. Like right now, I'm probably redder. I got more blood because I'm hot. You want that blood near the surface so the heat can escape. If it was cold in here, I look a lot paler because the blood would be sucked away from my skin and kept, not sucked, but redirected inside to my core where it can be, oh, I skipped that accidentally. So I'll go back and edit that. But what causes the heart valves to open and close is pretty amazing. It's just the flow of the blood. So if the blood is flowing one way, the heart valve opens. Once it starts flowing back the other way, it closes. So the flow of the blood creates that.